lesson today is 4.1, our coordinate plane. Go ahead and put today's date, and our target is that I can locate and graph points on a coordinate plane. So today the big thing we're going to be looking at is our points in our coordinate plane. So if you will for me, go ahead and sketch into your notes the coordinate plane, and you just make the black lines here, just make the axis. And we're going to review all of our parts of our coordinate plane. So as we said, the coordinate plane has two axes. The one that runs left and right, the horizontal axis, is our x-axis. Okay, so the x-axis is the horizontal line, the one that runs left and right. Our y-axis is the one that runs up and down. So we have our x-axis that runs left and right, and our y-axis that runs up and down. Now where the two axes meets right here in the main center of our coordinate plane, that's what we call the origin. Because it's in the main center, it's labeled as the point 0, 0. So we have our x-axis running left and right, our y-axis running up and down, our origin in the center. Now our coordinate plane is divided into 4 quadrants. So we're divided into 4 quadrants. Let's highlight. There we go. So our quadrants like to start where all the numbers are positive. And the big thing is always think about your x-axis being like a number line. So if we're on a number line, your positive numbers are to the right of 0 and up. So your first quadrant's where everything's positive. So quadrant 1 is where your x are positive and your y is positive. Then quadrant 2 is over here where we're to the left of 0, so our x is negative and our y is positive. And quadrant 3 is down here, and both your x and your y are negative. And quadrant 4 ends over here, and it is where our x is positive and our y is negative. Now, the way we wrote for the quadrants to know we're positive, negative, those are what we call our ordered pairs. And in our ordered pairs, our x value comes first. So it's on your x-axis. And then your y value comes second. So y value is up and down. So when it comes to locating or graphing points, we have to first look to our x because he comes first. And x goes left if it's negative, or right if it's positive. And the same thing for our y value. Our y goes down if it's negative and up if it's positive. So all of these go 2 directions. X can either go left or right depending on if it's negative or positive. Y can go down or up depending, once again, if it's negative or positive. And that's our ordered pairs. So let's look at an example of how to use our ordered pairs. So you don't have to sketch this into your notes, just follow this one along with me. It says write the ordered pair for G. So right here's G. And once again, if you think about your ordered pair, it goes X, then Y. So we know our x-axis is the one that runs horizontally. Right there's our x. So I'm going to start at the origin. And from the origin, I'm going to have to go left to get to G. So I'm going to have to go left 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So since I went left, it's a -4. And then from where I stopped, I'm going to see how much I have to go up. So I'm going to have to go up 1, 2, 3. And since I went up, it's a +3. So that's all we have to do. So let's look at our second example. Okay, I do want you to, if you need to, pause. If not, sketch this real quick into your notes. Okay, that way we have it. So make your axis. I was going to try to make it along with you, but mine's not that straight. There we go. And don't forget to label X, Y. And instead of putting like all the grid, if you just want to make tick marks, just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in every direction. There we go. That way you can have it sketched out. And then plot the points where they are. And label them A, B, C, D. Okay. So our directions say to write the ordered pairs for points A, B, C, and D. Name the quadrant. So it's just not naming the ordered pair, but it's also naming the quadrant for which each point is located. So once again, if we're going to write a point, we have to know X comes first, then Y. Then we have to state the quadrant. So let's look at A first. A, I'm going to have to go to the right from the origins. I'm going to have to go to the right 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So our X value is 4. And then I'm going to have to see how high up it goes. It goes up 1, 2, 3. So since I went up, it's positive 3. Now both my numbers are positive, and it's in the top right-hand corner of my quadrant, of my coordinate plane. My quadrant then is quadrant 1. Okay, now let's move on to B. So once again, we always start back at the origin. So I'm going to put my pencil here at the origin and figure out if I need to go left or right. B's right here, so I need to go to the right. So I'm going to go to the right 1, 2. So it's a positive 2. And I don't go up or down at all. I don't go up or down. So that means my Y value is 0 because I don't go up or down. Now because B is on the axis, he's on our x-axis, that means he is not in a quadrant. So for his quadrant, we just put none. He's on an axis. Okay? Then for our point C, once again, make our order pair. And C is over here, which means I'm going to go to the left from the origin. So at the origin, I go left 1, 2, 3 times. So since I went left, it's a negative 3. Once again, always think about your x-axis being a number line. So left is negative. And then C, we have to go down 1, 2. So since we went down, it's a negative 2. And since he's down here in the lower left-hand corner, he's in quadrant 3. And our last point is point D. I'm going to have to go right 1 and then down 1, 2, 3, 4. And so since I went down 4, it's a negative 4. And he's in quadrant 4. Okay, now that we've wrote order pairs for our points, now we're going to look at our next example, and it's graphing. So it says plot each point on a coordinate plane. So go ahead and make your x-axis and your y-axis. And then be sure to always label. Okay, so we come here and label our x-axis and our y-axis. And for our third example, we're going to graph our ordered pairs on our coordinate plane. So if you want to, go ahead and make tick marks 5 in each direction. That way you don't have to make a true coordinate plane. You just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Alright, and then once you have your 5 by 5 graph, you're now going to plot each one of these. So A, gives us the letter R, and it says negative 4, 1. So remember, x comes first, then y. So if our x is negative 4, we start the origin, and it moves us left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it's a positive 1 for our y, so we're going to go up 1. Now we're going to label that point R. B says to graph the point S, which is 0, negative 5. So 0 means I'm going to start here at the origin. And then if our x value is 0, we don't go left or right at all. We stay at the origin. And then our y value is negative 5. So since it's down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Label this point S. And then our last one is C, and it gives us the letter T. And it says 3, negative 2. So once again, we start at the origin. And our x value is 3, so that means it's positive. So I'm going to go to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. And my y value is negative 2, so I'm going to go down 2. 1, 2. Put my point, label it point at T. So that's all we have to do to graph our points. X value comes first, which means we're going to go left or right. Y value comes second, which sends us up or down. Now we can take something like this example 3 and our example 2 and put it in a real world situation where we're looking at an actual map. So for a fourth example, we're given 2 parts. It says latitude and longitude lines form a system of coordinates to designate locations on Earth. Latitude lines run east to west. So if you think about latitude being east to west goes left and right. So our latitude is a lot like our x-axis because it's going left to right. East and west goes left to right. And are the first coordinate of the ordered pair. So once again, it's like x in that it's the first coordinate. Alright, then our longitude runs north to south. So north and south are up and down, and it's the second coordinate just like our y value. So longitude is our y, like our y-axis. There we go. So once we've picked out which one is which, this part A says name the city at 40 degrees and 105 degrees. So if the first one is my x, now I try to find the ones that run like the x-axis. So x runs left and right. So it'd be these lines right here that are running left and right. So I find 40. Now I follow it over till the line's running vertically like the y-axis hits 105. So follow 40 right here over, keep following 40, and then I look here and I hit 105 on my y, and I'm at Denver. Okay, then my part B says to estimate the latitude, which is the ones running east to west, left to right, and the longitude of Washington, D.C. So first things first, let's find Washington, D.C. There he is. I have to first look at where he is left and right. And that's just below 40. So I'm going to say his latitude is at 39 degrees. And then we're going to look for his longitude. So that's our up and down. And his longitude's between 75 and 80. So I'm going to say it's about 75 degrees. There we go. And that's our coordinate plane and how we'll see it on real world stuff being on a map. And we finished up our 4.1 lesson. Thanks very much.